My guest today is Carlos Ley. Carlos is the co-founder and CEO at Uplink. Uplink, of course, is the world's first decentralized connectivity ecosystem transforming a global internet infrastructure. It's DePIN, basically. Welcome to the show, Carlos.
Hi, Andy. Very happy to be here.
Happy to have you here, Carlos. Let's do what we do at the beginning of the show. It'd be cool if you could please introduce yourself. I would love to hear some of your personal and professional backstory. What have you been doing in the lead up to co-founding Uplink?
Absolutely. So I'm Carlos Ley. I'm one of the co-founders at Uplink. And I've been in this business. I've been in the connectivity business for more than 10 years. So my story is actually very connected to what we're doing now. So I'm originally from Porto in Portugal, the small city. And we used to call Porto as being the Mesh Valley. So there's a lot of research on connectivity. There's the entire city is connected. So that's my background. And I was studying there. I met my co-founder, which was a researcher. And we understood that the connectivity space was evolving so quickly that we had to be part of it. And 10 years ago, we started building mesh networking software. And eventually, the more we learned about the industry, the closer we got to building what we're building today, which is Uplink.
Fantastic. All right. Well, for people that aren't aware, give us a bit of a sense of what Uplink is. I guess the kind of the big vision, if you like, Carlos.
Absolutely. So Uplink is a marketplace at the end of the day. So in one side, we incentivize people and businesses to share connectivity using their existing hardware. So let's say the Wi-Fi routers you have at home or at cafe, a mall, a gym, etc. And then on the other side, we have either telcos or enterprises that basically pay to tap into that connectivity. So telcos do one thing that is called network offloading, which is your cell phone, instead of being connected to a cell tower, it gets offloaded on other piece of infrastructure, like a Wi-Fi router. And they pay for this, but there's no one in the middle to basically make this connection between all this infrastructure that is out there in the world and all of these telcos and these MVNOs, which are telcos that don't have any cell towers, to basically tap into it. And that's where we fit. We fit right here in the middle.
Yeah, so the idea is to, redefine internet access so anyone can contribute and benefit from the network, right? So give us some examples of, how that plays out in the real world and what the real world benefits are for, I suppose, different types of individuals or organizations that might want to participate.
Absolutely. So what is happening today is that there's billions of new connected devices, and that requires a lot more connectivity, a lot more hardware, but it became financially unsustainable for the telcos to basically keep up with that. So the connectivity space is shifting to a point where telcos, instead of investing in the hardware and building more cell towers, they're starting to rent cell towers from each others and from other players. So now that we have more devices being connected, the speeds are a lot different. And at the same time, we have Wi-Fi technology, which is something kind of cheap, but gives you the same quality of service, of sometimes even better than cellular. It's time to basically tap into it. So a great example, and we've been doing this, we've been deploying this for around 2 years now. And we actually started in Latin America. We did a couple of deployments. They're still kind of secret, but by the end of this year, we're going to reveal those. And we have restaurants, we have malls, we have people that they have these Wi-Fi routers in location where a lot of people walk by. And then on the other side, we have telcos who are saying, hey, our connectivity is so poor out there, or sometimes there's so many people that the quality of service is not that good. Can we basically tap into that infrastructure, those Wi-Fi routers, so our user at the end of the day can basically have the best speeds and the best quality of service possible? So that's a great example. Imagine a mall where you have tons of people and sometimes like your service is not that good. Or a stadium, for example. Yesterday I went here on the show in New York and there were so many people I could barely text my friends. So in those places, basically we tap into existing Wi-Fi routers and the telcos can basically offload their networks there. So we're building a network from the people, basically. So if you have a Wi-Fi router, or if you're a business and you have a few deployed out there, basically we will pay you to use that investment that you already did. It's a win-win situation.
And so just talk us through, just very quickly then, Carlos, the kind of the setup, if you like, or what that would look like for either an individual or a business. How easy is it for people to do? And can they do that from anywhere in the world?
They can do that from everywhere in the world, and we already have hundreds of thousands, like 300,000 people. I don't know if I should say this number, but that already participated. We make it easy, and we actually intend on making it even easier. So there's two ways. One, let's say it's you at home or it's me. We have an app, which is the Uplink app. You download the app, you connect to the Wi-Fi, you press a button, you basically register in the network. So what it's doing in the background is we're verifying the quality of service. We're making sure, like, in this location, there's certain quality of service. Can we use this? But on the other side, there's also a lot of enterprises out there that they already have their networks. There's even cities that they've deployed public Wi-Fi infrastructure, for example. And obviously, they're not going router by router with the app adding those. So obvious for network operators, we make it super simple. We issue them some certificates, and in 5 minutes, the network can be live. Actually, we've been, in the past few weeks, we've been having a few big enterprise companies, they've been adding the routers to our network, and it takes between 15, 30 minutes. In one case, it took an hour, just because we need to make sure that everything is safe, everything is secure, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if people and businesses are bringing hardware if there's any vulnerability. So we are very careful with that, because in one side, we have the telcos. They need to make sure that their connections are secure. And then on the other side, we don't want to tamper anyone's connectivity.
Yeah, of course, that makes a lot of sense, Carlos. And there's a token as well, of course, the ULX token. So I guess just explain how the ULX token works within the Uplink ecosystem. I'm sure it's used to incentivize various participants, and maybe there's some staking.
So what we're doing, and I feel this is the thing in DePIN at least, which is there's always this chicken and egg problem, which is we have companies and telcos in one side, they want to tap into infrastructure, but many times we don't have the infrastructure. So it's, what do we bring first? First, do we bring the demand or do we bring the supply? And having a token, which we will have beginning of next year, it's going to be live beginning of next year, basically allows us to start incentivizing the deployment of infrastructure all over the world. So it helps us in basically starting to bring some traction to the network and incentivizing people and businesses to bring their hardware in. That's one of the key benefits. Then at the end of the day, it also helps us with a lot of other things like billing, settlements. But at the end of the day, it's a perfect use of technology, in my opinion, to solve this chicken and egg problem.
Yeah. And look, I mean, speaking of DePIN, DePIN, there's been a big narrative around DePIN for some time now, I suppose. Do you think there's still, is there a good understanding out there in the market in terms of, what DePIN is, what decentralized infrastructure means, and why it matters? Or is that narrative still got some way to kind of get out into the wider world,
Of course, I'm a bit biased with what I'm going to say, but for me,
Yes.
DePIN is one of the best use cases for crypto and for Web3. What I feel is there's a lot of great projects out there, but I know that only this year, these projects had finally started to build some traction, because it's easy in a way, and I think there's projects that proved that by using a token, incentivizing people to basically participate, that you can do that. But at the end of the day, you need traction on the network. And this year, this finally started to happen. There's a lot of incredible projects out there. They're finally having real revenues, real traction. And I mean, again, I'm biased. Every single day I look into DePIN, into what we're doing, but I think it's rare in Web3 to see other verticals or other industries with this type of usability.
Yeah, that's well said. All right. Well, I guess it's interesting, you guys have decided to build on Avalanche, right, Carlos? So be interesting, just for the non-technical audience, give us the non-technical answer if you like, but why Avalanche? Simple as that, Carlos.
That's a great question. And first, I have to say, if I look across my window, I actually see their office, so that also helps. But we love Avalanche, and more than that, we love the people inside Avalanche. So when we were starting, we were looking to what chains should we use, and obviously, there's a lot of great projects out there, great blockchains out there. But there were three things that we needed for this to be sustainable. So obviously, TPS. I feel that most chains right now, that's not an issue. But we also wanted someone that had a strong community. We really like that on Avalanche. So one of the things that personally attracted me in Avalanche is when I looked into the people that participated in the early airdrops, I think it's more than 40%. They're still staking. It's like, for me, that really shows commitment. It's not people are getting their tokens and selling. No, they believe in that project. And we want it to be with a community that is as passionate as that one. But then at the end of the day, it's their DNA. The more we spoke into them, the more we felt that we had a very similar DNA. They're very focused on enterprises and enterprise deals. They do a lot of things that are still not fully public, a lot of great things they've been doing in the background. And that resonated with us. There's a few enterprises they work with that we've also been speaking with. And end of the day, it's also about the people. We've met them a few times. They're absolutely great. They always supported us. So it was a no-brainer at the end of the day.
Yeah. Thank you, Carlos. Look, you talked before about, I don't know, the number of users or the number of routers. I'm sure there's, a number of routers, new routers being registered every day, new users joining the network. You can talk to those numbers if you want, but, what is that like, just kind of being at the tip of the spear, I guess, Carlos, of a company that is trying to scale as rapidly, presumably, as you can, literally around the world. It is quite an intense undertaking. What is that like?
I have to say it's magical, and sometimes it's unbelievable. And one thing about our numbers is my team, every single morning we actually go, we double check, we see if there's any bots, if there's anyone trying to gamify the system, and we only count the ones that really matter. And the reality is, right now we have not right now, actually. Last time that I checked, we had around 4 million routers added to the network. Our goal for this year was 250,000. So it was unbelievable when things started clicking and started growing. Yeah, I have to say that it's a beast also. We were not expecting that. And actually, sometimes the app fails, the system fails, because we thought things were going to go slower. We thought that we were going to have time to fix things, which we're always fixing, but it just exploded. And I think it really shows the appetite that people and the market have for real projects that are actually solving a real problem. And it's amazing. I feel like every time you look into a really good project that has good usability, and there's a bunch of DePIN like this, you find people that actually believe and actually do participate. And I confess I was not expecting this.
Yeah. So what does this start to look like in, another 5 years' time? You've said that Uplink complements rather than competes with traditional telecoms. There's certainly some competition. There's some complementation as well. So just what does that kind of win-win partnership look like, I suppose, as you continue to evolve?
What we're doing at Uplink, I truly believe someone will need to be doing this, because the connectivity business is evolving to a point where it's shifting. You need to use a lot of different types of infrastructure, different channels even, and you need someone in the middle to basically coordinate and orchestrate all of this. Where I see us in a few years is basically having that position. That's our goal. That's where we're heading. I think this was perfect timing. I mean, back in 2018, me and my co-founder, we actually wrote a white paper kind of predicting this was going to happen in the market in years prior, and it is happening. So someone will do this. Obviously, we expect to be us, but the market needs a player like this. There's this great guy that one time he used this metaphor, which he told me, Carlos, what AWS did for computing, someone will need to do this for telecommunications. At the end of the day, it just needs to be simple to connect. Doesn't matter what's the hardware below, who owns it, where's deployed. Just make sure that there's good enough quality of service, and then telcos can use that, and our other players can use that, and that's it. You need someone to coordinate and orchestrate all this.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, well, that's hopefully that's you and your team, Carlos. Look, as we start to finish off this part of the podcast, then again, just make the case for why people should join the Uplink network, and tell people exactly what they need to know, what they need to know, and where they should go to be able to do exactly that, Carlos.
So I feel that everyone that wants to be in the next step of the evolution of connectivity should join Uplink. And it's fairly simple. Just come to our website or download our app, the Uplink app. You download it, you create your account, you basically start walking around the streets, start connecting or mapping hardware and routers for us, start adding your home router, your office router, to our network, and basically start being rewarded for that. End of the day, we're not going to tamper with your network. So what we do is we're basically using the additional bandwidth that your router has, meaning what's not being used, we're going to use that so that telcos and enterprises can use it very privately. And obviously, you get rewarded for that.
Yeah. All right, and that link, the website, of course, is just uplink.xyz, but that is in the show notes, listeners. That means, Carlos, it's time to go to a very quick break, and then we'll come back, we'll finish off, we'll have some fun by running Carlos through the very famous crypto conversation hot take round. And boom, just like that, we are back. Carlos, it's time to finish off the show by running you through the very famous crypto conversation hot take round. Are you up for it?
Yes, I'm excited for it, I have to say.
Excellent,
I heard a lot
Carlos.
of things about it.
I'm just going to run some questions at you. No right or wrong way to do it. Just want your honest answers, hot take style. Question 1 for you, Carlos, very simply is, where would you say that you sit on the Bitcoin maximalist to multi-chain opportunist spectrum?
I have to be neutral to our investors.
Yeah. Fair enough. That's a very valid answer. All right. Well, Carlos, what would you say is your firmest conviction crypto opinion?
Yeah. There's a few, and honestly, I'm thinking about the previous one as well. I think it's independence at the end of the day. I got into crypto very, very, very early, and I actually got to Bitcoin very early. And at the end of the day, for me, it was all a feeling of independence, and I still feel that towards crypto.
Yeah, very good. All right. Well, look, Carlos, but Bill Gates famously said that we tend to overestimate what we can accomplish in 2 years and underestimate what we can accomplish in 10. So, with that in mind, what is, look, anything you like, but global connectivity, uplink, what does it look like in 10 years' time?
At the end of the day, and I genuinely mean this, I know that what we're trying to do, whoever does it, has the potential to be the next trillion-dollar company. And that's where I see, and that's what I work for every single morning here at Uplink for us to achieve in 10 years. And I truly believe that it's possible. Someone will do it, and I'm doing everything I can for that someone to be us.
Yeah, fantastic. Another way of thinking about this is a wonderful quote by William Gibson, who famously said that, well, the future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. With that in mind, Carlos, can you think of an example of the future being here right now, but most people aren't aware of it?
Exactly what we're doing. So the future, it's completely decentralized in connectivity. The infrastructure is already out there. You look around your home, you will see it. You will see a router. You walk around the same. The future is here. There's just no one plugging it together. So that's our pitch. I'm going to start using that actually, because that's what we're doing.
I love it. The future is here, and the future is here indeed. Look, it brings us nicely to the final question, actually, Carlos, which is very simply, what is your favorite science fiction book, film, or TV show?
Such a hard question. Even yesterday, I was speaking about this with my friends. I was raised on Star Wars. Like, I had it on VHS, and every single morning, I was on the weekends, I was watching Star Wars. I absolutely love it. And honestly, it was a big inspiration for me. However, more recently, I started reading Dune, which I absolutely love as well. But then, like life, there's a lot of different stages. There were also this maybe not as romantic, but like George Orwell and Aldous Huxley stage. And but Star Wars it's still my baby. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of how it's where it's heading, but I still love it.
Yeah, some controversial, more
Yeah.
recent additions to the Star Wars canon, but yeah, can't really disagree with anything you said there, Carlos. Look, this has been excellent. It's been so much fun having you on the show today. Thank you so much for coming and spending some time with us. Just to close it out, please again tell people where they can go to learn all about Uplink and begin to get involved.
So feel free, download our app, the Uplink app, or come to our website, uplink.xyz. Follow us on social media as well. But yeah, one thing I have to say is we finally entered the exciting stage, and it's a great time to join. I I can genuinely say this.
I love it. Thank you so much, Carlos. All the best, and bye for now.
Thank you so much, Andy. It was a pleasure.